All right, let's jump right in. There is a massive shift happening right now in the US service economy. And look, if you're a business owner, this is something you really can't afford to ignore. We're talking about voice AI. And by 2026, the decisions you're making about it today, they could literally define your company's future.
And just to put this into perspective, listen to this quote. It's not just another little tool or a gadget. We're talking about a shift as huge, as fundamental as the internet itself. Now that is a bold claim, so let's dig into the data and see if it holds up.
And this chart, wow, it just says it all. You can see the momentum here. In just a couple of years, AI use among small and medium-sized businesses has just exploded. We're going from less than a quarter of businesses to a projected 2/3. So, you see, the question is no longer if you should use AI, it's how.
And that how is bringing us to a really specific tipping point. See, AI is moving beyond just text on a screen, like ChatGPT. It's moving into the most natural, information-packed interface we have, our own voice.
Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting, because there's a nuance here. While yeah, almost 60% of businesses will be using AI, a much smaller number, see that? Only about 40% will have it deeply, critically integrated into their daily work. And that gap right there, the gap between just playing around with it and actually relying on it, that's the real opportunity. And this is why they call voice the wedge that's going to close that gap. Think about it. When a customer has a real problem, a high-stakes, urgent problem, a burst pipe, a bad toothache, they're not going to fill out some web form. They pick up the phone. Voice is the channel for action, which makes it the perfect tool for that deep automation.
So, let's see how this is all playing out in the real world, right? We're going to start with some industries where the cost of just one missed call is so incredibly high that voice AI isn't a luxury anymore, it's becoming a defensive must-have.
So picture a typical dental practice. A staggering 1/3, 35% of their calls just go unanswered. And we're not talking about routine questions here. These are often brand new patients, people in actual pain, ready to become loyal customers, and instead, they're getting sent to voicemail. And the cost of that? It is just jaw-dropping. Missing just 10 of those new patient calls a month can add up to over $200,000 in lost revenue every single year. For a small business, that's not a leak, that's a flood.
So the solution becomes, well, crystal clear when you put it side by side like this. An AI receptionist costs a tiny fraction of a human one, it works 24/7, and this is the critical part. It answers every single call. The economic argument here is almost impossible to argue with. And this isn't just about dentists. Not at all. The exact same logic is driving this explosive growth in all these other high-stakes businesses. You've got law firms using AI to instantly screen new clients. Plumbers, electricians, they rely on it for emergency calls because they know the first one to answer the phone gets the job. Even restaurants are using it to handle that dinner rush without the phone just ringing off the hook. Of course, it's not all a perfectly smooth ride. There are two major hurdles any business owner has to deal with. First, the technology itself, and second, the really complex legal side of things. So let's break both of those down. Okay, first, the tech. The biggest problem with voice AI, historically, has been this thing called latency. You know that weird awkward pause after you finish talking? The one that makes it feel like you're talking on a walkie-talkie? That right there, it completely breaks the illusion of a real conversation. But this is a war that's being won, and it's being won fast. I mean, in just a couple of years, we've gone from these clunky 2 to 3 second delays to response times that are almost human. And the key breakthrough is something called interruptibility. It means the AI stops talking the instant you cut in, just like a real person would. It's a game changer. Now let's talk about the legal stuff. In early 2024, the FCC made a huge ruling. They basically said that AI-generated voices are, legally speaking, the same as robocalls. And that changed everything overnight. So this leads to a super important distinction for any business. When a customer calls you, that's an inbound call. It's much safer legally. But when your business calls them, that's outbound. And that carries a ton of risk. This makes something like an AI receptionist a far, far safer bet than, say, an AI sales dialer.
Okay, so let's get inside the head of a business owner for a minute. They're facing this real dilemma, right? They're caught in this tug-of-war between two really powerful fears. The fear of missing out on this game-changing tech versus the fear of, messing it all up and hurting their business.
And the number one objection, the one you hear over and over and over again, is this one. My customers want a human touch. It's this deep-seated belief that technology just feels impersonal, and it's going to drive their customers away.
But then you look at the actual data, and this just shows the disconnect, doesn't it? More than half of customers will actually choose a bot if it means they get helped right away. And another 41% value being able to call anytime more than they value talking to a person. It turns out a bad human experience, like getting voicemail or being put on hold forever, is way worse than a good AI one.
So that brings us to the real question here. If the tech is good enough and the customers are clearly open to it, what's really stopping business owners from just diving in?
And the answer is confidence. The majority of owners who haven't adopted this stuff, they don't doubt that the technology works. They doubt their own ability to set it up right. This agency gap is the final barrier we have to get over for mass adoption.
So finally, let's look ahead. Let's see where all of this is going. Because just answering the phone and booking appointments, that is just the very beginning. The next big leap is something called agentic AI. And this is where the AI doesn't just talk, it acts. I want you to imagine an AI that not only schedules the plumber, but then goes and autonomously orders the parts they need and negotiates the price with the supplier. Or one that can diagnose a leak just by looking at a video you send from your phone. By the end of this decade, the prediction is that AI could be solving most customer problems without any human help at all.
And hey, this insight was brought to you by Voiceonic. If you want to get your own AI employee and see this in action, you can get a free demo today. Just visit voiceonic.com.